Okay, Mom, this is your video where we walk around the house so you can see what's been going on. So we'll start over here on the left-hand side of the property. See if I can zoom in a little bit. As you can see, them getting a little bit more grass. It's still a little bit on the sparse side. First of all, this is our tree, and it has an interesting story to it. The story is that the deer came in here and messed with the tree and pulled on it and yanked on it and basically broke it kind of cleanly right here. I don't know if you could see that, but the tree used to be twice this tall, so now it's bushing out. So I need to give it some love. It's struggling, but this is the island in the front. This is also the island that the deer love so much. And if you look at this guy, you can see evidence of where they just nibbled on the ends of everything. They didn't pull weeds though. Here's one of those sticker thorn things. We need to get that. But for some reason, they don't come around to here. You can see these still have new shoots on them. But I've been sprinkling the stinky stuff, and hopefully that's beginning to work to keep them away. These are the knockout roses. And they were really good this year, but they're done with that, and now they've moved on. I should probably trim them. They're a little bit out of control for their own good. This is the bed in the front. You can see that we've got some planters here. I'll let you see them. The plantings in the front are the same as they ever were, but we'll go up here on the porch and come up the steps, and you can see the rocking chairs, and here are the planters. So I don't know what's in them. Vanessa and I got them at the farmer's market, most of them, except the geraniums she ordered from someplace that had beautiful geraniums last year, but this year they have this weird thing. You could see the outside of the leaf is yellow and then brown and dies away. So the internet says that it's a vitamin deficiency. I have my little spy camera here to catch the deer when they come, so I can see who's who and what they're doing, and maybe get ahead of them. And then this is what it looks like from the porch. You can see the corner. That's where the school bus stops. Almost everybody has a dog, so they walk their dogs up and down here, and every now and then there'll be a little present waiting there for me. But I'm really pleased with the grass, because it was looking pitiful a year ago, and 2 years ago it didn't exist at all. So let's go around the garage side, and we'll end on the other side. Jono's friend Lionel's been helping, pulling weeds and cutting grass and letting me have time to do fun things like play in the garden. This is Vanessa's friend Felicia, who's here to visit and do scrapbooking things. I've been trying to spray for clover. You can see maybe in the neighbor's yard that clover is really taking over, but I'm trying to knock it back. There's a special kind of stuff that you spray, and you can see here it's working a little bit. It takes time, but get rid of that. This is where the mulch was. It took longer than we thought, to get it spreaded, and so it killed a little circle of grass. But you know, we know how to grow grass. We can do that. This is the devastation caused by your friend and mine, the deer. They absolutely ravaged this plant. He was twice this size, had probably a dozen apples on him, and one night they just came and took over. So here's a new thing, a fence. And you haven't seen this fence. We just got it in. These are the people that I taught Bible study with, John Folsom, who's the guy that started Diversified Fence, and now his sons are kind of running the business. And so his son Nate, who I taught in Bible study, came by and quoted the fence, and you know, gave us a little discount. Nothing to write home about, but every little bit helps. They're nice tall fences. They're 5 foot tall, so the deer have to really want to jump to get in here. But you could see, I'll do a quick pan. Goes all the way around the corner, and then joins with the neighbor's fence in the corner, and so we have the full backyard is all enclosed. So we'll just kind of walk along the back property line, and you could see that there's still our land outside of there, and that's kind of done on purpose, because if we need to come back in here to get a tree or something that's fallen down, there's enough room that between that room on the side, and if he has to take out a couple of these small little trees, that's not a bad thing either. And now we're coming back into the shade. Oh, it's nice back here. Big kudzu plant climbing that tree. And there's a gate back here. This is where Daryl went down to the creek when you guys were down last year. And so there's a gate, and he can still go down the hill if he wants to. I'm hiding some things back there, my trailer and spreader and stuff like that, and so don't tell anybody. But it's back there. We're gonna make like maybe 3.5 foot deep beds along here. So I'm gonna have to grow grass back in some places, and that's not a big deal. But then also till up and plant cool stuff actually here along the fence, so it'll be kind of a natural area. And then here's a reverse angle picture of the house. You can see we're noticeably down the hill here. I need to clean up a little bit. If Vanessa sees this, she'll fuss. Too much of my junk hanging out there, but I'll take care of it. Couple places where mushrooms are starting to grow. So much rain, so much moisture. It's gonna happen. And there's something magical about that dirt that's around the tree too. I think it's extra prone to make mushrooms. This little plot here of green amongst the brown is, I planted some wildflower seeds. It was real cheap, couple bucks, a whole bag of them, and I just spread them out, and I have no idea what they are. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Some trees were cut down here, and so we just gotta stay on them so that they don't try to grow back in the same space. Over here is the corner. I hope the dog doesn't get excited. He probably will, but if he does, I'll just go look at something else and come back to this later on. It's not a big deal, but this is where the flowers are. Some snapdragons and some marigolds, and Vanessa comes and cuts them and puts them in the house. And then I'll go around the back side first, but let's see. Again, more stuff that Vanessa will probably fuss that I'm not keeping it up right, and she's right. Blueberry plants, and they're coming along. I put a little netting around them to stop the birds from taking all of my blueberries. I made compost piles back here, but I still have the wiring for the panel openings that I haven't filled yet. These are my potatoes in fabric bags, and as soon as I free up my tarp, I'm going to empty one of them out. It's been raining, and so I figured, I don't need to water anything today. It rained, but the rain really wasn't much of a rain, so I really do need to come and take care of that. This is the mulch that I took off the lawn that was killing the grass. And we'll come around. Oh, there's some stuff you can see from the back side that you can't see as well on the front side. You might see in there a couple of peppers coming along. We got cucumber. He's coming along. Got a little baby cuke growing up here, so you can see him in there. He's coming along. That's a good sign. More peppers, some stock and basil and some other stuff. We'll see it when I come around on the inside. But tomato, these are what they call grape tomatoes, and so they got more size than cherry tomatoes, but they're smaller and they'll ripen early. You might see down in there one of those fellas is beginning to turn red, and boy is he in for a treat. He's gonna get bitten by one of the best eaters of tomatoes in this household. So I look forward to that. This is the other tomato monster plant. These are the bigger ones. I actually grew these from seed. I planted the seeds, made little transplants, took care of them in the house until we could plant them outside, and here they are. So this is the sage. It's gone to seed, but that's okay. We'll have sage seeds. You can see on the back side of the beets, there's some leftover collards that I cut them down, but they're resilient and they came back strong. We still have 2 peonies that we have to plant. We haven't planted them yet. They were over at Julian's for a long time, and when they came over here, I was already deep into this latest thing at work, and so I haven't had time to plant them yet. But we're going to probably plant them back there by the fence. And then tarragon and thyme and oregano and dill, and so a bunch of cool herbs there. Those are Vanessa herb plantings. More of the hanging baskets, similar kinds of flowers, different place. These geraniums are doing okay. Not great, but they're doing okay. And then Vanessa likes the waterfall effect of the light green chartreuse colored stuff, and so it's doing what it's supposed to do. And these geraniums look pretty good. Just as you come in, you could see on the ground here 2 squash, again in containers, so I can move them around. This first one here is yellow squash, and this other fella here is a zucchini squash, and we'll see what they do. But idea is to see if we can avoid the ravages of squash bugs, which always do me in. Some zinnias that I just kind of healed in, that I need to plant back there in the corner now that the fence is done. Rosemary, it's going to go right outside the door here, because it'll grow year after year if we just take care of it a little bit. And parsley, and we talked about the stock, and you could see even more of the peppers up in here. Again, the peppers, like the tomatoes, I started them from seed, and grew them in the garage, in the workshop, and now they're here. This guy is just out of control. He's huge. And so I ran out of cages, and I might just get a stick for him because he's huge. Vanessa loves beets. So this is the second planting of beets. The first planting is up here. And I actually probably should be pulling beets. You know, there's a fella right there. Just give him a twist, and clearly he's ready to go in and be cooked. So let's see, where did we leave off? This is the goes with the tomatoes. Not basil. Okay. Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about. Smells really good. Goes with tomatoes. These are the big guys. So the other ones are little grape size. These are the larger slicing size tomatoes. We got 3 of those plants, and one is, I bought this guy in the corner. I didn't grow him. And then hidden back in between them, you'll see under here, got some string beans. They're about ready to pick. So we can have string beans with our dinner. And then there's a second planting of string beans back up hidden amongst there. So I need to get after a third planting because this one's kind of weak. And then here's when I planted the squash, zucchini and yellow. I just planted a couple seeds and they all came up. So I couldn't bear to just get rid of all of them. So I kept 2 of the 6 of each that I had. And then under here you could see I've got some snapdragons interspersed. And then there's a volunteer. When I was growing the snapdragons from seed, obviously I got a pepper seed in there too, because there's a pepper plant, this guy right here, in there with the snapdragon. And then I was holding these tomato plants for Phil Campbell, but life happened and he wasn't able to adopt them, so they're planted and we'll see what they do. Disappointment. Onions just didn't make for me this year, and I gotta go back to the drawing board. But I think I'm pretty clear. I did 2 things. One, and I think this is the significant thing, I planted them earlier than I should have. There was a cold snap and they thought it was fall again and they just bolted. All of them went to seed. Most of them went to seed, and that was just disappointing. But we'll try again next year, Lord willing. Here's another. This is another zucchini. That was a squash back there. Again, the whole theme of flowers in the garden. We have these zinnias. These are the Envy is the name of this one. It's kind of a green, green with envy. It's a green blossom rather than a pink or something else. These are just zinnias of your typical kind of colors that you see. Still beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Let's see, where will we go next? Well, we can look at the hydrangea. The peonies did really well this year. There's the other side where we have the other side of the fence. Pretty cool. Over here, the hydrangea, I gave him some sulfur, which is supposed to acidify the soil, and it did, because these things were red last year and they were trying to be blue. Some of the earlier ones were blue this year, so I guess I got to do some more. I was trying to be, careful and not overdo it, so I'd rather sneak up on it that way. And then here's some plantings by the patio, and that's the tour. All right, I look forward to sending this to you. Love you. Bye.